Welcome to the annual Mobius HIPAA Policy and Procedures Overview. This brief webinar will tell you what HIPAA is, what it isn't, and point you towards resources available at Mobius. The Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act is a federal law that is intended to protect the privacy and security of personal health information. This law applies to both Mobius clients and employees. HIPAA has changed the way we do our work. We now have to conduct our agency-wide risk analysis, maintain a high degree of virtual security, and routinely monitor for the viewing, sharing, and destruction of personal health information. As a professional, you need to be informed about the regulations and your responsibilities. Believe it or not, HIPAA supports the Mobius mission. It guarantees the right to direct one's health information and the sharing of that information. It fulfills the need for self-determination, and it gives more control to people over their information. It also gives everyone the right to examine and obtain a copy of their health records and request corrections to be made. As a service provider, HIPAA sets clear boundaries around the information we can and cannot share. It also requires us to establish safeguards to protect the privacy of that health information, and it holds violators accountable. The agency makes a similar commitment to employees. Protected health information held by your employer falls under the human resources domain. This is the primary responsibility of the executive director, the human resources associate, and the human resources representative. Employee medical, injury-related, and accommodation requests are kept in a secure file that is kept separate from the personnel file. The expectation of confidentiality is central to professional standards at Mobius. At Mobius, we are required to give clients and consumers information about their rights in the form of a notice of privacy practices. We also have to complete a release of information when sharing any of the 18 identifiers of personal health information, and we are required to provide training during orientation and annually to all employees. We also take specific steps, both virtually and at service locations, to protect personal health information. This is a brief list of the 18 types of PHI identifiers. It is important to note that even mentioning characteristics, for example, uses a wheelchair, is nonverbal, or has curly hair, is a violation of a person's privacy. In September 2014, the agency adopted a policy to meet federal and state regulations and protect the personal health information for our clients and consumers. The purpose of this policy is to act as an umbrella protecting the agency, the people we serve, and those we employ from undue risk. We make reasonable attempts at safeguards, and these are not intended to impede customary and essential communications and practices. It does not require that all risk for incidental uses and disclosures be eliminated. It's impossible to eliminate all risk. Procedures to protect the individual's privacy related to incidental uses and disclosures of PHI. What you can do to protect the privacy, there are some simple solutions. Only look at info you need. Don't talk about clients in public areas. Protect your computer terminal and protect paper records. All relevant HIPAA information and forms are found on the J drive under the HIPAA folder. The Director of Quality Assurance is responsible for keeping these forms up to date and monitoring their appropriate use. There are many considerations in the world of social media as it relates to HIPAA and protected health information. Information obtained from your consumer-provider relationship is confidential. Posting information about it without authorization is a violation of the consumer's right to privacy and confidentiality. Even if you think you have de-identified the information, it still might be identifiable to others. This is a brief slide showing you the definition of a HIPAA breach. A breach is not a breach until an investigation has occurred. There are ways that someone might accidentally violate HIPAA. For example, an outsider overhears workers talking about a person in an elevator, hallway, cafeteria, or front office. An employee might leave private info lying open in public places or desks. Or someone forgets to log out and leaves a computer alone. Never forget to press Control-Alt-Delete and lock your computer terminal before you walk away. There are also ways that someone might intentionally violate HIPAA. They give medical records or any PHI to others who don't have permission to see them. They share with people who don't have permission to have that information. Making a copy of personal health information and taking it home with you. Making changes to the client record in the computer you don't have permission to make. Sharing your computer password with coworkers or others. Or looking at information in paper and computer records that you don't have permission to see. Not every violation is the same. However, all levels are subject to investigation. You can see there is a big difference between leaving a computer without logging off and willfully violating someone's privacy. There are 3 levels of sanctioning, level 1, 2, and 3. At Mobius, we have many resources to support you. Mobius has a privacy officer, Rebecca Emmons, Executive Director, where questions can be directed regarding the HIPAA policy and procedure. There are 3 simple steps if you suspect or witness a breach. Contact your immediate supervisor, complete the HIPAA log, and provide it to the privacy officer. It's important to note that except as protected by the whistleblower's law, any member of Mobius workforce who fails to comply with our privacy policies and procedures or the requirement of the HIPAA privacy rule shall be subject to disciplinary action up to and including termination from employment. No Mobius employee may retaliate against anyone for reporting violations. So this is just a quick reminder that a breach has not occurred until an investigation has been completed. To report a potential breach, contact your immediate supervisor and/or the privacy officer, complete the HIPAA log found on the J drive under HIPAA folder and in black HIPAA log folders at each service site, or click on this link and complete an electronic report.